Hello and welcome to Ditch Diaries. We are continuing on with our baneful herbs, the first week of, not baneful herbs, banishing herbs. I'm just saying baneful because that's
Yeah,
what
it's
you're going to be
painful in the
getting
mind.
today. But also, that's worth noting as well that a lot of banishing herbs are baneful herbs. A lot, or I should say it the other way, a lot of the baneful herbs can be
Mm,
used for banishing. That's
yeah.
probably the better way to say it. And for good reason. So you're gonna see we'll talk about it more when we get into my herb of choice today. So let's just get to it and let me share my screen with you. Henbane, exactly. So Henbane is rad, and
I'm gonna turn off my video just for a second. I think that there's like something behind my camera I need to. Okay. Sorry, keep going.
that's okay. So henbane is let's see if I can say this. Hyoscyamus Niger, and it's black henbane, but there are other types of henbane. In fact, we're going to talk about that. And let's get right into it. So here's some pictures. I just did my traditional way of doing it with a little bit of differences to talk about, but um that's kind of what henbane looks like there. That's a real picture of what black henbane looks like. So those two are either a drawing or created by AI. But that's a pretty and it's an interesting little a little sucker here, an interesting little plant. So it has
Mm.
a ton of other names. Insana, Hypnoticon, Henbel, Jupiter Bean, Stinking Roger, Crazy Beline, Crazy Dill, Flower of Death, Chicken Death, Symphonica, Bolmort, which is Swedish for smoky herb, which we'll talk about. Um, Devil's Eye, Witch's Herb, Gypsy Corn, and that's Germanic because they thought that henbane was used by Romani.
Mm.
Hexenkraut,
That
Altercu,
also sounds German.
it is Altercu, Alterculum, Apollinaris, and that's because we're going to find out a little bit more about Apollo, that it was,
Mm.
even though I don't list him as one of because I only list the goddesses, we're going to find out how Apollo comes into this whole thing. Bilinusha, Black Nightshade, Casalago, Casalata, Deuce Cobalinus, Hebanon, Hogsbeam, Hyos, wait, Hyoscyamus, and I can't say that name. This is French. Juskia. I don't know how to say that. I'm not even gonna say
I don't
it.
know.
Bean, poison tobacco, and stinking nightshade. The parts used is the whole thing, really. Root, seeds, leaves. Most people use the leaves. We're going to find out that most of the power is going to be in the leaves, but also the flowers. So,
Mm.
so there's tons of poetry about henbane. So we're just going to go through a couple of the fun little snippets. So this is from the sensitive plant. And the hyssop and the henbane and hemlock and rue are sprinkled with raindrops and burn in the dew.
Nice.
Yep. And then this is from Queen Mab. No longer now he slays the lamb that looks him in the face and horribly devours his mangled flesh, which still, avenging nature's broken law, kindled all putrid humors in his frame. All evil passions and all vain belief, hatred, despair, and loathing in his mind, the germs of misery, death, disease, and crime. No longer now the wickedness of man serves to ferment the wine of human tears, and blood and tears and anguish and fire of hatred and self-loathing and unrest, and the bloody banquet and the sleepless bed of sin and the fierce intoxication mixed with the venom of the henbane flower.
Nice.
And then Hamlet, it's mentioned in Hamlet. So, sleeping within mine orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hebanon in a vial, and in the porches of mine ear did purr the leprous distilment. So,
Mm.
Yes, we'll talk more about Hamlet a little bit too, because it's in there. And then this one, the woods of Westermain. Straightway venom wine cups shout, toast to one whose eyes are out. Flowers along the reeling floor drip henband and the hellebore. Beautiful beauty of her tresses shorn, shrieks as nature's maniac, hideous on hoof and horn, tumbles yapping in her track. So that was fun.
Hmm, nice.
So the plant information. So it's Henbane is a member of the Nightshade family, the Solanaceae family. And so a lot of things are members of the Nightshade family, including potatoes and tomatoes. So we've
I
got,
think eggplants too, yeah?
yeah, eggplant as
Hmm.
well. Yep. Some people are sensitive to it too. So you gotta be
Mm,
careful if you're sensitive to that. So it's entheogenic, which means it like is supposed to take you into the spirit world because it's has like psychedelic properties, and this does definitely.
mm.
So it's traditionally used as an incense, a smoking herb, or a ritual fumigant. It's native to Europe and Siberia, Western Asia, North Africa, and even into India. And it grows, I love this. It grows around old ruins and abandoned houses
Mm,
and old graveyards
nice.
and ditches. Like I heard somebody
Mm.
describe that can often be found in ditches, and I'm like, because we're ditch witch.
Ditch Witch Diaries.
Exactly. So if you're going to make offerings to the plant, it likes offerings of milk and silver. And it's a biennial plant, which means it goes on a 2-year course to run its track. So the first season it develops leaves, and the second season it produces flowers and produces seed pods. And the leaves are the most potent in the second year when it's in full flower.
Hmm.
Growing it in wet climates is difficult, and like there was conflicting things about this as well, because some people said that it grew well near the ocean and other people said it didn't, and I think it depends on what it's grown in, because it like there's a certain it likes a certain medium to grow in. So
Mm.
if you want to extract the alkaloids, you want to use it extracts best in alcohol. And it has a specific odor. Some say that the odor is alluring and others say it's putrid. Again,
I love the divide.
exactly. It depends on who you ask. I think Maud Grieve says it's putrid, so
Mm,
this is what it likes: chalky grounds. It likes
mm,
to grow in chalky environments. So, and there are 11 species of henbane.
mm,
So we're going to get right into the lore, stories, and cultural importance. And I'll talk a little bit as we go through. So it's associated with death all over the place. First of all,
mm,
it's like a huge death herb. And a lot of these baneful herbs are associated with death. And it's almost like it calls to these spirits, and then it can push them out as well. So
mm.
that's the same thing. Like it's used to talk to and see spirits. So Vikings, they used it in rituals. It was found all over the place in funerary pouches and at funeral sites. Henbane
Hmm.
seeds were found everywhere. And it was supposed
Interesting.
to protect the wearer. It was to banish
Mm,
evil and to protect the wearer.
mm,
So in the middle, this is another interesting thing. In the Middle Ages, the general Middle Ages, because
mm.
nowhere else but Europe were there Middle Ages happening, of
Yeah.
course. Anyway,
Mm.
so it was tossed on the coals of bathhouses because it's also like the smoke is supposed to produce like lust in people, and it has aphrodisiac qualities.
There's our crossover. We always have a crossover. Bathhouses
I
was our
know.
crossover today.
Exactly. So North Africa, it's used in North Africa, and the seeds were crushed again and used as an aphrodisiac in North Africa. Oh, and then I saw
Ah!
a little picture.
Yeah.
Exactly. We all know what this is from last week. This is the Ebers Papyrus, the Ebers.
Uh,
So back to Egypt. So we know that this is the Ebers or the Ebers Papyrus. So Henbane was documented in like to be used in the as far back as 1550 or 1500 BCE in the Ebers Papyrus. And there's like this whole thing about Albertus Magnus, who is
mm,
like a old timey sorcerer,
hmm
because he talked a lot about henbane, and he said it was used by sorcerers to visit with demons and spirits and to manifest and scry. He used it to cast a spell on a person. You can sketch them with the ink infused with henbane.
Ooh, I like that.
I know, me too.
Mine would be a stick figure, but still.
And then Albertus Magna, he associated henbane with Jupiter, which is interesting because we've got like Culpeper associates it with Saturn because he says it grows in
Mm,
Saturn environments.
mm,
Yes.
interesting.
So then henbane is definitely associated with witches. It's like a big witching herb. So it has an affinity for witches and for dark spells. It's a baneful herb. And so let's see, it was featured in a lot of witchcraft trials. So there were trials where people admitted to witchcraft and they because they admitted to using henbane. So it's like I said, it's used in different like witchcraft. It was used to indict witches in witchcraft trials because they would
Mm,
admit to using henbane. So,
mm,
like in this Pomeranian trial in 1538, it's somebody confessed to giving it to a man like the henbane seeds for as an aphrodisiac to make him go crazy with lust. And
mm.
then in the Inquisition, there's this famous witch trial of like a witch who said that she sprinkled like henbane between two people and she
Hmm.
separated the lovers. She like banished the two from each
Ah,
other. She basically separated one from the other by putting the seeds between them and saying like this little witchy thing. So,
interesting.
and it was a traditional ingredient in witches' ointments as well.
Hmm.
So in Greece, and this is my love, Circe, and
I know.
we're going to talk about
Her
it's
pig.
all over Greece. Like the use of
Mm,
henbane features strong in Grecian mythology and
mm,
stories. So first of all, Hercules wore a crown of henbane and poplar so that he could go down into the underworld and then return. So because it's so
mm.
associated with the underworld. This is great, and I'm going here. So, Oracle at Delphi, who is the Pythia, which is the high priestess, she gave her oracles after it was burned and smoked. And the Oracle at Delphi is actually like a shrine to Apollo. It's Apollo's temple. So that's where we get that connection with Apollo
Mm,
through the Oracle at Delphi.
mm.
Yeah.
So she would burn it and then give it to them.
No, she would burn it and she would get intoxicated and she would give her oracles after smoking and burning the henbane.
Oh,
She would
gotcha,
be able
gotcha,
to
gotcha.
see, yeah, she would give the
Yeah,
oracles by being like using this intoxicant would make her,
yeah.
yeah. So,
When you said oracles, I was thinking like the other viewers, like the other visionaries, but her own oracles.
yeah,
Gotcha,
like
gotcha,
her
gotcha,
giving,
gotcha.
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So
okay.
she used it as a means to to
Mm,
connect with the
interesting.
spirit realm.
Hmm.
So it's also thought to be in Homer's Odyssey. So it's part of the ingredients. It's thought to be. There's some controversy in the Nepenthes Pharmacon, which was a potion that was given to Telemachus and his men by Helen to forget their grief.
Mm,
So it's also Circe. It's thought to be the potion in the potion that turned men into pigs. So the actual Latin name means pig's bean, and
Mm,
maybe it's because of this association, but also pigs are there's controversy about which animals are immune to it and which aren't,
mm,
but
mhm,
supposedly pigs really like henbane.
mm,
So the dead in Hades were crowned with it, so they stayed wandering in the river Styx.
mm.
And like I said, some say it was dedicated to Apollo because it was used by his in his temple. And then although Medea is not a goddess per se, um she prepared a potion containing henbane to render Jason impervious to pain in his quest for the golden fleece.
Mm.
Then in Germany, and here's more, like we talk about this little snaky poo here. Maybe that's what I was thinking it because the Germans have some fun little things about it. First of all, if in German mythology, it was used in rainmaking and in weather magic. So it was said that like the smoke of henbane would it would gather the clouds in the air. That was one way. The other way
Which is interesting because it likes dry environments, according to
exactly.
most people. Hmm,
Exactly. I know.
interesting.
It likes to grow in dry environments.
Yeah.
I guess the smoke would gather
Hmm,
up storm clouds
hmm,
because it's associated a lot with like anger and like fury,
mm.
like war waters and stuff like that, which we're going to talk
Okay.
about some of that later.
Yeah.
And then so you can take the whole plant and you can dip the whole plant in water and then beat it against a rock for rain making, which is an interesting little thing.
Hmm,
So both Germans and the Nordic used it as an intoxicant and an aphrodisiac.
hmm.
And Germans have a legend that says that the henbane grew out of snake venom. So when God cursed the snake, again, another connection, it
Yeah.
spat its venom on the ground, and from that spat grew henbane.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I know. So the Germans hang it in a corner of a barn to banish mice and vermin. That's from Agrippa.
Hmm.
And it's used as a fumigant with asafoetida resin, hemlock juice, mullein, red sandalwood, and black poppy seeds. To
Oof.
I know that's quite a thing. Like you imagine burning all that.
I know.
So it makes demons like appear before you and then to see if they were in the room or present and then also ostensibly then to banish them or to
Mm.
talk with them if you want to keep them around. But
Hmm.
so also as a fumigant, Germans were using it to protect buried treasure with
Hmm.
coriander, saffron, parsley, and black poppy seeds steeped in hemlock juice. So very interesting, those Germans. Then we're going to go back to the Nordic people, and a carryover in my was the spitting, the spitting snake. So
Oh.
henbane seeds were found in the funeral grounds, like where in the funerary places of, and the vulva has actually like that little like sign
Mm.
on it, who
Hmm.
was a Nordic seer and songstress.
Hmm.
So in Sweden, we see a lot of stuff. So it's a fumigatory to get rid of tooth worms. I
Oh.
don't know what tooth worms were, but
Sounds
apparently
terrible.
I know you were supposed to leave your mouth open when they fumigate it. And this is like there's like a Swedish black book of like I guess spells. And in this
Oh.
black book, you were supposed to use henbane to remove and banish evil witchcraft that was
Hmm.
used against you. Use henbane, asafoetida, mercury, sulfur, gray sulfur, a nail, a bat skull, and a four-leaf clover for this.
Hmm.
That's the recipe for this. In Italy, Pliny is from Rome, and it was said that it was employed in funeral rituals and scattered in tombs but it's also said to cause giddiness and insanity. So in Wales, this is a horrible story. If a child
Oh.
sleeps near the henbane, that they would stay sleeping. They wouldn't.
Oh,
I know.
sad.
It's the
Oh.
eternal slumber. Don't let
Mm.
your kids sleep near the henbane.
Mm-mm.
In Assyria, they hung from the door to prevent evil sorcery, so to banish evil sorcery from
Mm.
entering the home. In Britain, so this is it's so there's a lot of it here too. So it's supposed to be most powerful if it's collected using your pinky finger to collect it. So a naked maiden is supposed to stand on her right foot and use her pinky finger to collect the henbane, and then it's supposed to be the most powerful. It seems like a lot.
Mm.
And so you could hang it around the neck to banish pain. And in The Secret of Secrets, which is a book, it's an English book or a Great British book, it's used to gather spirits together. And to do this, you're supposed to use coriander, celery, henbane, hemlock, storax, and benzoin. And if you can't get benzoin or what it is, you're supposed to use frankincense and myrrh as a substitute.
Mm. What's storax?
Storax, I don't know.
Hmm.
Interesting. I think it's a resin, but we should look that up. That's an interesting
I'll
one.
look up now.
It is. Look it up now. Let's see, what is storax. Are you going to look it up now?
Storax. Yeah. Storax is a natural fragment resin isolated from the wounded bark of, oh my God, liquid amber orientalis.
Interesting. Okay.
So I don't know what plant that is, but there you go.
There we go. Storax.
Hmm.
So then we go back to
Oh, it's a sweet gum. It's a
oh,
sweet gum tree.
oh,
Hmm.
nice. So the
Interesting.
resin of the sweet gum tree is storax.
Yeah.
So Hamlet's, like we go back to that original poetic rendering, and what that was telling you was the story of Hamlet's uncle Claudius poured cursed Hebanon into Hamlet's father's ear to murder him.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
horrible. In Poland, you're supposed to hang it on a barn door after harvesting on midsummer for banishing evil and protecting your animals.
Hmm.
In Turkey, that's a Dioscorides, or however you say it.
Dio, Dia, who knows?
Yeah, Dioscorides. He said that it would make a person infertile, so you could use it to make somebody infertile. In Scotland, it was found in medieval hospital sites, ostensibly because they were using it as an anesthesia,
Hmm.
because it's like reduces pain
Hmm.
and can make one like sleepy, a soporific, if you will. And finally, we see the Gauls painting their spear tips with henbane.
Ooh.
Exactly. So the correspondences. The element is water, interestingly.
Hmm.
The planet is Venus. So some were one book that I read said that it was like a triple like there was like a triplicate of elements that or planets that it belonged to: Venus, Mercury, and Saturn. So that was one group. And then and they likened it to like the witch's trident, or like
Hmm.
three aspects of the moon. Okay, so then Culpeper said that it was from Saturn, and Albertus, our friend, says that it's from Jupiter. So that's the astrological sign it's associated with is Aquarius, which is interesting. The tarot I found is like either the Eight of Swords or the High Priestess, because there's like hidden things about it, like it's
Hmm.
dark and hidden, and like anyway. And the Eight of Swords, I looked at it, it's a pretty dismal situation. It's like the one where they're like she's surrounded by the swords in the water.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah.
The patriarchal castle in the sky is like looming above her.
God.
Exactly. She's looking pretty miserable.
Mm.
The chakra is the third eye and the root chakra. And the Sabbat is this is another one, the Samhain midsummer, like I don't know,
Mm.
a lot of herbs are this one. So
Let me ask you a question about that real quick.
yes.
Do you think that now I'm sure a lot of the herbs that are like um dually associated with Samhain and Midsummer, I'm sure that we can kind of sparse out reasons for why they would be. But do you think that a lot of people go to those just because those are the two most common like pagan holidays?
I
Or do you think there's actually thought to why
think
they're
a lot of
associated?
things are supposed to be collected on midsummer. I think that's just a day when a lot of things are collected, like a lot
Mm,
are harvested on that day.
yeah.
And anything that's like dark,
Death and stuff is
yeah, is
Samhain,
associated with
yeah.
Samhain. And so I think
But it seems like
it's an awful lot. You're right.
yeah, when we're covering like the whole spectrum though, like right, like we're covering the light and the darkest day, not of the year, but like the holidays associated with those things. And so it's like, well, it could be associated with the light or the dark or harvesting or like uh harvesting in two different realms, I guess. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of
There
plants that are
are a lot. There
associated.
are a ton of herbs that are both of those. So it
Yeah.
is. I know
Mm,
that would be a good research topic about whether that's just silliness that somebody said.
yeah.
Like that's just, you're right, just like the most popular ones, or if that's like,
It's
that seems like
yeah.
a thing. Like
Yeah.
herbs of Samhain in midsummer.
It feels kind of like oh my God, who's the what the fuck is I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or if his name
I
is
don't
like, but
care if you do say
what's the
Cunningham.
Cunningham?
I'm
Like
like
everything is
everything
protection
is
and love. It's like, okay, let's actually like figure out what it's actually
what's
associated
real.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it just that everything's associated with us? That's how it feels when like we come across all of these herbs that are listed as both of those.
Yes. So I don't know, but this is supposed to have the greatest power if it's harvested at midsummer.
That's fair. I like that because we talked about like the lore associated with that.
Exactly. So and it's like you're supposed to like one thing person says like, and this is interesting because it's you're supposed to collect it on midsummer, place it in an earthenware pot, a clay pot per pour oil on it and bury it until Christmas Eve at midnight. Then it's dug up and used for pain of gout or probably
Ooh,
for whatever you want to use it for.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
so the goddesses associated are Persephone, Circe, Hecate, and Hel. I found. So the magical properties. And we're going to go through all the magical properties and then we're going to get to banishing at the very end.
Hmm.
I'll go through the ones that are. So sleep, it's like a trance sleep. So it's like a
Hmm.
soporific and like hypnotic sleep. Psychedelic journeying, and I've infused it into wine, beer, honey. And I am not suggesting that anybody do this because it has, well, we'll talk about whether it has the potential of death or not. But it is a baneful herb. So like even though people have done this, I am not suggesting that you do this. It's like messing around with Datura, and somebody
Hmm.
said it's like 10,000 spiders. That sounds horrible.
Oh
Well,
my
this is
God, yeah,
supposed
I
to be
remember that.
crazy inducing. So it's called insana.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
do not mess with this, but this is the magical property. So I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Okay, so some say because of this, it's a celebratory herb because it's like psychedelic journeying. So maybe like I said, like maybe the smoke isn't as like don't ingest it, but they say they to infuse it into wine, beer, or honey. That sounds dangerous, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's associated with death and dying. And I have thoughts about I think it's that whole thing about like when things are associated with like the underworld, it's like you have like you're opening up a connection to thrust things out into that realm.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what this is doing. It's like it's opening a connection with death and dying. It's coming to terms with mortality, transitioning to death, grieving. Necromancy. So this is an herb of the underworld. Okay.
Hmm.
Divination. It's used for divination, for scrying, spirit communication, obviously, like we just talked about. So you're supposed to evoke, you can burn it to evoke the spirits of darkness to do your bidding, or to tell them again, you've opened up. And once you associate like henbane with a spirit, it kind of sends it to that river Styx, because it
Mm.
like allows people to go into the underworld. So you're kind of like sending it back into the underworld. It's also used for charging divination tools. And as an herb of mercury that was listed as one of those three, it can like it travels between the upper and the lower to communicate and get information. So it's used for shadow work, obviously. A lot of these dark herbs are used for shadow work.
Hmm.
And another important one is coercion, which is a really interesting property. So mental manipulation, glamoury. You can lull an enemy into complacency to tell you their stored secrets or overcome boundaries.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know what that was. A little mistake there. But also, it's obviously used for love magic. We talked about it as an aphrodisiac. You can wear the root, especially as an aphrodisiac. And then I mentioned also about it being an herb of anger and confusion. Like it's like if you secret it into somebody's home, you can cause them to have a mental breakdown. You can cause people to like, you can like break up.
Secret is, I mean, like sneak it?
Yeah, sneak it in.
Okay.
Secret it. Yeah,
Hmm.
sneak it into a person's house.
Hmm.
Also for power, it was smoked by magicians at high black masses.
Nice.
Now we're gonna look into banishing. And let me just tell you, that noise is fucking pissing me off right now.
I don't hear anything.
Thank goodness, because like, of course, right now, like, is the time where
What is it?
at
Is it a
night.
car or something?
No, it's like a weed whacker. It's freaking
Oh.
7:40 in the evening. Weed whacking. The night gardener. Oh my gosh, that's like from
Oh,
Severance. Like, have you
I
do
didn't see that.
Severance before? Okay, so in Severance, like
Yeah.
that's how they know that Helly. I'm sorry, I'm giving away Severance secret. Okay, so turn it off for a moment. Close down the thing if you don't want to hear. But they know Heliar is like the outie instead of the innie, because she
Uh-huh.
tells them a lie about what, like, they do this special technique so that they blend the innie world, and so the innie gets to be the outie. Like when they're in the outie world, they do this thing with this machine so that all their innies like go to
Mm.
the outie world. And
Uh-huh.
so then when they all come back, Helly tells them that she makes up this lie about what happened when like she became her innie, like on the outside
Mm.
world, what was going on, what did she come to, like, so they're all
Mm.
sitting around in the inner world of Severance, and she says some like lie about like she walked outside, she wasn't doing anything, and like there was somebody who was gardening, and like Irv, one of the other characters, like keeps bringing up the night gardener, about how like there's like it has to be a lie because the night gardener.
Because like people don't garden at night.
Like what is gardening at night? Why? Well, welcome. Have
Oh, that's funny.
living with the night gardener. I'm
Uh,
dying.
hmm.
The night gardener. Anyway. So banishing the magical properties of henbane, banishing. Let's get right to it. So, seeds left in places where death is present assist spirits to move on to the it's always like assisting things to move on to the
Mm.
underworld. So that's what it does. It like moves spirits and entities away from
That's
this.
an interesting way of thinking about banishing, actually. I kind of like it because it's like it's not like get the fuck out of here, or like which is what my mind goes to, but it's like no, you don't belong here.
Yeah,
Go there, which is
exactly. And I think it could be
interesting.
either one because sometimes they
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
that
no, I agree.
wrong.
I agree.
But
Yeah.
that's it's kind of like so it promotes quarreling. So it like again separates. Like it
Mm,
separates things. Like like that at that witch trial, she was talking about separating two people. Like that's like when you use it, you're like separating yourself from another entity or thing. It promotes like this anger and this negativity between two entities and pushes them
mm,
apart. So you can wear an amulet and it's going to prevent colic and inflammation and bring the wearer happiness because it relieves like the evil and the badness that's inside you. So
mm,
it can you can also cause death from a distance with it, apparently. So you can banish somebody from this world into the next world with it.
mm,
So it's been used as a fumigant to protect cattle. And anodyne necklaces were put on children of like to protect against fits and
mm,
to like kind of separate them from having like ostensibly like seizures, I assume. It's supposed to repel evil spirits. And so forgetfulness and boundary setting. So I like this also because it helps like people to move on. So like in Greek mythology, the dead were crowned with henbane, possibly because of its ability to induce a state of forgetfulness. This could be symbolically linked to banishing unwanted influences by encouraging those to forget and move on.
mm,
To forget and grieve, like forget this place and move along
mm,
where you're supposed to be. So carrying henbane root could make one invulnerable to witchcraft of others. So
mm,
that's another thing. You like make your space like you are going to repel any negative influence. It's kind of like a mirror spell, like you're reversing the negativity. So it's possibly like fighting poison with poison, like on that principle.
mm,
So henbane was believed to aid in conjuring spirits and even chasing them away. A specific fume concoction incorporating henbane and other herbs was said to both attract and dispel spirits. So it like attracts the spirits to this place and or helps you see if there are negative spirits around and then assist them in moving on. And then medieval European magicians and healers used henbane in ritual purification by smoke, like smoking and fumigatory rituals to dispel negative energies and protect against malevolent forces. So now this is a real medical disclaimer, okay? Because this is like some gnarly stuff. So I don't even really go into the medical parts of it, but I'm just gonna put that up there.
yeah.
A few words about ingestion. Okay. First of all, there are true known medical uses of henbane. So it's an antispasmodic and it's used to treat stomach and intestinal problems. And it's in like the like medical world, like the alkaloids are used in medications to treat IBS and cramps and Parkinson's disease. So there are real medical uses by the medical profession for the alkaloids in henbane. So there were a ton of medical uses that I encountered in the variety of books that I came across. Like all sorts of books talked about the medical uses of henbane. So
Mm.
I'll just like list them and I forgot my parenthetical here. So whatever. And I forgot that other like anyway, so the like this is what they were sleep, nervousness, hysteria. I love hysteria.
Hysteria.
I know. I want to buy a book. There's a book that I'm looking at about hysteria. What is it
Oh,
called?
interesting.
Medical Muses, I think, is about hysteria.
Oh, interesting.
I know. Headache, fever, pain, lice, breast diseases, whooping cough, deafness, earworms, toothworms too, we talked about,
Yeah, all
and
kinds of worms.
tinnitus or tinnitus. I don't know how you say
Mm.
that. My dad says tinnitus, but I don't think
Oh,
it's
interesting.
so here's another thing. There
Mm.
is definitely two places of thought about this. So some say that it's like the least gnarly, baneful of all, like it, like between hemlock and belladonna, like this is
Yeah.
like the least gnarly, okay?
Hmm.
Because it induces more of like a psychosis or like a
Mm.
entheogenic properties instead of actual death. So
Mm.
some say that 3 grams is the maximum daily dose and that no deaths have been linked directly to henbane. Others are adamant that this is deadly.
Mm.
So I say no, but
Yeah.
there are people who try lots of stuff. So if you've ever tried henbane, I'd be interested to hear what it says. So, but be cautious. I
Yeah.
don't recommend it.
I'll stick to the like sympathetic use, like using, not ingesting.
Exactly. Or making like like flower remedies,
Yeah.
flower essences out of it.
Yeah.
There's other things you can use that, yeah.
Yeah.
So possible antidotes are that I've come across, which are so strange. Drink goat's milk, honeyed water, or pine kernels with sweet wine or fennel seeds, nettle seeds, the seed of cresses, mustard, or radish. But mine is you feel like you've been poisoned with
Mm.
henbane. You know
Yeah.
what? Stop, drop, and roll, baby. You need to call
Call
the
the professionals, man.
exactly. You need to call somebody and tell them you've been poisoned.
Yeah.
These are all my the things that I used, and I tell you, I've gotten some good ones. Like Under the
Mm.
Dragon Root is a great book. I just want to
Yeah,
call
you
your
talked about, oh, did you talk about that one? I can't
attention.
remember if we talked about it or if I came across it.
It
You might
is
have said something about it.
Yeah, it is so good. It's this
Mm.
one, Under the Dragon Root.
Oh, you did.
It's a
Yeah.
great one. It's a
Yeah.
really great one. And what are the other ones? I was really into the Poison Path Herbal and the Poison Path
Mm.
Grimoire. Those were really good ones in this in
I
depth.
have the herbal. Have you actually looked through the other one yet?
Um, which one?
The poison path?
So yeah, I looked through both of them
No.
and they were both really good. I
You said last we talked about it, you said you were going to order it, but I think you hadn't yet or something. But it's good. You would recommend it?
Yeah, I would. I think
Okay,
it's good
cool.
and I think it has some stuff about because I know you were talking about like a poison garden, and one
Hmm.
of the things I want to do in my life is to go see that famous poison garden in
I
England.
know. Yeah, me too.
They've
Me
got a
too.
couple of those in England that I want to go.
Yeah.
And then but they have some interesting things about growing, and then also
Mhm.
Maud. Good old Maud Grieve has some good information on
Yeah.
growing conditions for
That that's the thing. I found like the information that I'm looking for can be found in like different books, but it's surprising to me that nobody has compiled it into one book. It seems like this doesn't seem like an off thing. Like it seems like it would be a book in demand, you know? It seems
growing a
strange
poison
that,
garden. Exactly. Poison
yeah,
gardening. Exactly.
yeah.
One
So,
would think.
mm,
One would think.
yeah,
And a
interesting.
lot of times they smell really bad though too. So
Yeah, yeah. That's
like this
fair.
one I'm interested. I would love to come across it to smell it.
Yeah.
Just to
I have the seeds, but I haven't tried growing them yet.
and Maine.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what, because I feel like a lot of them, people say that they stink, but who knows? Hmm.
Repellent. Again, it's another like
Yeah,
oh,
fair. Yeah,
pushing it away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also with like bugs, but also mice and stuff you were talking about, so it makes
Yeah.
sense that it wouldn't
Vermin.
smell great.
Exactly. I
Hmm.
love it. So Henbane. Woohoo!
Henbane.
I
Nice.
love it. Anyway, so next week we're going to talk about uses, some like practical applications, and I don't know about, I'll talk a little bit about Henbane, but maybe I'll offer some other things that you can do as banishing, some practical things, and we will see you next time with the next Ditch Witch Diaries.